Nick. Why is it that every time we try to move on from this wannabe feud with Eminem that happened a long time ago, you still on here running your mouth? You're still crying and complaining about Eminem. I don't know what type of vendetta you have against Marshall, but Marshall has done nothing to you, bruh. But here you are again, still keeping the beef going because you want to be relevant and you want to win the beef. Because we all know that deep down inside, you, the game, Benzino, everybody that tried to diss Eminem, you all lost. You lost. Eminem didn't really have to respond to you. The same reason why he didn't really need to respond to the game. And the game lost. Benzino lost. Because even though he made a diss track on him twice, then you got caught up by a YouTuber who is a skilled MC that is way better than Benzino. He got called out and he lost. So I don't understand, what is it with this generation of old heads crying about Eminem because he said this, he said that, when he literally had nothing to do with y'all. But it just seems like Nick Cannon just doesn't know when to shut up. Because I'm just tired of him always complaining about Nick Cannon because he's white. So what? What does skin color have to do with him being a white rapper because he's an MC? He's better than y'all? Or maybe it's because you're jealous. That's basically what it is. You're jealous because a white rapper who came into the MC in the late 90s and blew up in 2000 and has been rapping ever since, putting out bangers after bangers after bangers, selling out multiple shows, multiple tickets, has been featured in most rap songs I've ever heard in years. The dude is a legend. Platinum albums, platinum records, and he's been listening by the most usage on Spotify, Apple, YouTube. Like, Eminem is one of the all-time greats, and you want to sit up here and cry. This is embarrassing, Nick. Recent interview with Billboard, Cannon spoke about rehashing his decade-long feud with the rapper at the end of 2019, and whether he was surprised that the Lose Yourself artist didn't retaliate with a diss track of his own. Well, I'll tell you why. Because every time when they put out a diss track against Slim Shady, you already lost. Because Eminem knows that people don't like him. That doesn't mean that he needs to do a diss track on him. But if you keep bringing his daughter up, if you keep mentioning his name in your songs, mentioning his name in conversations, of course you're gonna have a problem with it. Of course you're gonna have to do a diss song. Then you're really gonna be mad because you the one started it. Then maybe, just maybe, if you would have kept your mouth shut, kept his name out of your mouth, then none of this would have happened. And the reason why Nick Cannon is mad at Eminem is because in the 2009 diss track, Eminem claimed that Nick Cannon tried to say hi to him, but Eminem didn't really see him. And so Nick might have thought that since Eminem didn't say hi to him, I'm gonna do a diss track on him. And it was the worst thing I've ever heard. Even when he was using his Wildin' Out employees to try to diss Eminem. Why? Because you want him on the show, and then you came up with one of the absolute worst diss tracks. Cancel. Nah, Nick, you cancel yourself for that horrific diss track, calling yourself trying to be the race baiter about Black history. We don't need to know all of that, Nick. You're only doing it because you want to win in a diss track, win in a rap battle because Eminem is better, And just face it, y'all, I'll tell you, man, every time when I see something about Eminem, it's always that one person. And I'm not even surprised it's Nick Cannon, because y'all know how those two are. As fans may recall, in December 2019, Eminem was featured on Fat Joe's song Lord Above, and the rapper's verse quickly sparked buzz and controversy after he continued to reference Mariah Carey. I know me and Mariah didn't end on a high note, but the other dudes whipped that P got him nurtured. Eminem rapped on the track, tried to tell him this chick's a nut job before he got his jewels clipped. Woo! Golly, that's crazy. Almost got my caboose kid. Fool quit. You gotta do is, I let her chop my balls off too before I lose. Whoa! Okay, you know what? I didn't understand what I was reading at first, but I realized that this was the verse. So that's why Nick Cannon got mad, because Eminem is still referencing Mariah Carey. I mean, all you had to do was just ignore it. Like, what's the point of you getting triggered by one diss track and you getting offended by what he said? All you're doing is making yourself look bad, and you're embarrassing everybody. I don't understand why everybody cares about Mariah Carey. I don't. Because even though he made a reference to Mariah Carey, but he didn't really say her name. Did he? Did he say her name? Did he say Mariah Carey? All he did was make a reference. And you got mad over it? Sounds like to me you have an issue. It sounds like to me you're not only in love with Eminem, but you admire him. And then, didn't you just say not long ago that Eminem was one of your top 5 rappers of all time? So what happened, Nick? Did you change your mind? Hypocrite. At the time, Cannon took to Instagram to call Grandpa Marshall out and invite him to appear on Wildin' Out. However, that was only one of many times that the two have gone on a diss track, each other back and forth over the course of a decade. When speaking to Billboard, Cannon shared, "My response was his invitation to Wildin' Out, and that still stands. You gotta remember, I was defending myself once again." No, you weren't. He keeps bringing it up for decades. "I'm one of those cats that matches energy." No, you don't. "I don't do it. I overdo it." Stop the cap. Nick, you capper once again. Because how you go to say that you match the energy when we haven't seen that on Wildin' Out? We haven't seen that when you try to diss Eminem. And you only made like, what, 3 diss tracks to Eminem? And I remember back in 2019 when I heard this. Like, dude, what are you trying to do? Like, what are you trying to accomplish? This is some embarrassing stuff I've ever heard of Nick Cannon. And when he said he was defending himself, how? By calling yourself dissing Eminem while you using your employees from Wildin' Out to make a diss song. Y'all still lost at the end of the day. And this is coming from a man who keeps getting these women pregnant, having multiple kids. No. And this is coming from the same man that has babies with multiple baby mamas. Sounds about right? Oh, even in high school, I was a little guy. But if you make fun of me, I was going to make fun of you, your mama. And that's the same energy of Wildin' Out. It was a smooth of social commentary. But if you ever heard me speak on this matter, I'll always give that dude his props as an icon of hip hop. I think he knows better now. If he keeps talking about me, I'm gonna keep talking back. Like you're doing now. Bringing it up, still talking about it, not letting it go. Eminem has moved on, why can't you? During this interview with the publication, he also elaborated on past comments he made of Eminem being a product of institutional racism. Shut up! Bruh, why is it that every time I see pro-black people this and that talking about Eminem, you don't like him because he's white, you don't like him because he's a white rapper that is better than y'all anyway, you barely make any music, you barely go on tours and have multiple listens on Spotify, you barely have any hit records coming out every year. Nowadays, every time I hear music, it's the same, like they keep rehashing the same old songs from the past and making it something that is kind of corny. It's like music is not even music anymore. Everybody is using the same stuff over and over again. It's getting to a point where it's getting boring. That's why I stopped listening to music years ago. As of right now, I still listen to music, but the ones that I like. Nowadays, everything is just the same. Every mumble rapper, every mumble music is the same. It's like Gorilla, Sexy Red, trash music. I don't even want to know what kind of music Sue Guyana puts out. I don't even want to know. But the thing is with Nick Cannon is that he's the type of cat that just won't let the past go. And here you are going into this interview, still crying about it, still talking about it. You sound just like these model women after their boyfriends or husbands break up with them because they put them on blast on social media for no reason of being a good person. And as soon as their partners move on, they cry about it because they want them, to be miserable. You're doing the exact same thing as to keep talking about the past with Eminem. Let it go, Nick. You barely in your 40s and you still crying about it. It's the idea that there is a superior class of people who are judged by a different measuring stick. It's something Eminem has even addressed being a guest in the house of hip hop. When you come from a culture that was built by a community that didn't have something of their own, but were able to embrace it, and it became a new conduct. A conduct of information for a new culture. Can I explain? It when someone comes in and shines that medium and takes it to the masses, it's the same thing as what Elvis Presley did. There's nothing wrong with it, but you gotta accept it for what it is. If you're telling people that, look, even though hip hop was created by the black community, which I get it, but if somebody who was white that is a skilled MC, that is a skilled dancer, a skilled singer, like, it's the same energy that the black people brought when hip hop was created in the 80s. So why are you getting so worked up about Eminem when he came into the picture? You weren't beefing with him back in the day when he first came out. So why all of a sudden you're coming out saying that, oh, the reason why I'm dissing Eminem is because he keep talking about Mariah Carey, he keep talking about my ex. Dog, you and her were divorced. So why are you still crying about Mariah? It's beyond me. Why are you still defending her? It's beyond me. You're making it about you, and you still lost. And once again, you came into this interview and you still talked about it. I sometimes think that when people have beef with somebody a long time ago and refuse to let the past go, it tells me that they're in their feelings still, or they're just miserable because they want to make a point in a diss song. Using people in a diss track, calling yourself with the black history, trying to educate people on the song about why Eminem is the worst rapper because he's white and he's racist. Nah, Nick, the only racist in this situation is you. You're already claiming that Eminem really does not like black people. Yet, he's made rap groups out of him. He got signed with 50 Cent. He's done multiple songs with them. And he even came into the Super Bowl halftime show rapping with them. So Eminem does belong in the black community. He does belong in the hip hop world. What are you talking about? At some point, I'm just getting fed up with this whole Nick Cannon and Eminem beef. Like, I'm tired of talking about it. I'm tired of people bringing it up. I'm tired of Nick Cannon crying about it on every interview. You claim that he knows better. Dog, it's Eminem. Of course he's gonna diss people. Of course he's gonna make references. Why do you care? Why do you get mad about it? You're not married to Mariah Carey anymore. You already got multiple kids by multiple baby mothers. You can't even keep your junk in the pants. So you have no place to say anything about Eminem when you yourself don't have your stuff together, Nick. And I'm sorry to say this though, but I feel like to me, when anybody is trying to diss Eminem without any explanation as to why they're doing it, they shouldn't be saying nothing at all. At the end of the day, the past is in the past. Let it go. Move on. MS moved on. So does Mariah Carey. Why can't you? You're still stuck in the past. Matter of fact, I think you're either in love with them. At the end of the day, Eminem said what he said. He won while not retaliating to Benzino, Eminem. No. Benzino, the game, you, of course, Nick, to anybody that's trying to diss Eminem. He doesn't really need to respond because he knows that people don't like him. And that's all right, but guess what? He don't care either. Facts over feelings. He don't care about your feelings. Your feelings are that Eminem is overrated. He sucks as a rapper. He has no skills because he's white. He shouldn't be in a rap game. He dissed me in the song. So why are you triggered over it? It is painfully obvious that you got triggered over it. It shows. So, link to the article will be down below, and I'm holla at y'all.